What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Eric plots to break up Taylor and Ridge pushes for a bridge reunion. The Bold and the Beautiful tease that Eric Forrester will pull out all the stops to break up Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester. Eric believes that his son's destiny is Brooke Logan and doesn't want him to throw their relationship away. Eric told Ridge he shouldn't push Brooke away. He thinks if he pushes her too far, she will move on with Nick Marone. Nick has expressed interest in Brooke. It looks like he's on the fast track to propose to Brooke. But why is Nick in such a hurry to nab Brooke? Many B&B viewers believe that he has an evil motive, perhaps motivated by money or operating some type of scam. Eric Forrester's plots for the big breakup. Eric adores Taylor but doesn't think she is right for Ridge. He believes that Brooke and Ridge are soulmates, urging his son to end his relationship with Taylor. He advised Ridge to do the right thing and return to the love of his life. The Bold and the Beautiful state that Eric went as far as to create a Forrester Creations promotional video to highlight their relationship. It pulled on Ridge's heartstrings as he remembered the last time they went to Italy and he professed his love to her. Ridge stood his ground, telling his father that he loved Taylor. He added that he fully plans to marry her and spend his life with the mother of Steffi Forrester and Thomas Forrester. Eric begged Ridge to think long and hard about that, claiming throwing Brooke away would be a huge mistake. Ridge Forrester is not happy about Brooke and Nick. One thing B&B has highlighted is Ridge's discontent of Nick. He believes he has an ulterior motive with Brooke. There is no part of him that believes that Nick actually cares or loves Brooke. There's no doubt in Ridge's mind that Nick has some type of scam or financial reason for latching to Brooke. Eric thinks that if Ridge wants to keep Brooke away from Nick and his possible scheme, he needs to end his relationship with Taylor and reunite with Brooke. He thinks that would be for the best for everyone, including Taylor. The Bold and the Beautiful state that Eric is confident that eventually Ridge will want Brooke back and shatter Taylor's heart for the millionth time. Taylor Hayes can kiss her wedding goodbye. Taylor Hayes is cruising for an emotional bruising on the Bold and the Beautiful. All signs are pointing to heartbreak ahead for Ridge Forrester's fiancée. Taylor doesn't stand a chance of getting Ridge to the altar, and here's why. Brooke Logan knows how to hit Ridge Forrester where it hurts. Since he has decided to marry Taylor Hayes, Brooke has reconnected with his half-brother Captain Nick Marone. Nick makes Ridge's blood boil, and seeing him with Brooke will give Ridge the nudge he needs to leave Taylor and reunite with Brooke. Ridge drops Taylor like a hot potato. The Bold and the Beautiful say all hell will break loose in Naples, Italy. We already know that there will be a serious accident and Ridge will have a brush with death. The Forrester heir will have a change of heart and realize he doesn't want to spend another second without Brooke at his side. So, Taylor will be left out in the cold again. Word on the internet is that Taylor will get creative and could check herself into the hospital and complain of heart complications again. Last time her broken heart syndrome worked like a charm and reeled Ridge back in. But, B&B say this time around it won't faze Ridge Forrester. Bridge is endgame. Steffi Forrester will probably meddle in her parents' relationship and try to guilt her dad into staying with her mom. However, Bold and the Beautiful say Brooke and Ridge will be together for the unforeseeable future. Eric Forrester had always believed that true love could survive anything: time, betrayal, even death. But as he sat alone in the dim light of the Forrester mansion study, staring into the flickering flames of the fireplace, he couldn't shake the sense that his son Ridge was about to make the greatest mistake of his life. Again. Taylor Hayes, as dignified and caring as she was, wasn't the woman Eric saw when he envisioned Ridge's forever. That spot was reserved, and always had been, for Brooke Logan, for better or worse. While Ridge busied himself with engagement preparations and Taylor floated around like a love-struck teenager in her second bloom, Eric's eyes had been wide open. He saw the worry lines etched deep into Brooke's face when Ridge was mentioned, the way her voice softened at the sound of his name, and how her glances drifted longingly toward the office Ridge worked in. He noticed how Ridge, despite his firm declarations of love for Taylor, always looked a little too long when Brooke entered a room, how his laughter deepened when she was near, and how his eyes clouded with envy whenever Nick Marone made her smile. Eric realized that was Nick Marone's opening line. Nick was charming, wealthy, and shrewd, but Eric didn't trust him. After sailing back into Los Angeles, the man had barely unpacked his belongings when he announced his plans to Brooke. He wanted her, and he wasn't subtle. He talked about their history like it was unfinished business, about second chances and fate, and Eric could see the fire Nick was trying to reignite in Brooke's heart. But Eric also saw something else: manipulation. Nick was pushing hard, almost too hard. The timing was suspicious, the sincerity questionable. Eric suspected that Nick wasn't there just for love. There was something darker brewing. Maybe money. Maybe revenge. Whatever it was, Eric knew it spelled disaster. Brooke had been through too much, and she didn't need another man pretending to be a savior when all she needed was the real thing: Ridge. That's when Eric began to plot. Not out of malice for Taylor, whom he respected deeply, but out of a fierce sense of destiny. Brooke and Ridge were meant to be. They had endured more than any couple should, yet here they were, orbiting one another still, unable to break free. Eric pulled every string he could. First came the promotional video for Forrester Creations, masterfully edited to include moments from Brooke and Ridge's most romantic days: Italy, Aspen, the desert wedding. Under the guise of highlighting the brand's history, he had them play it at a board meeting, but Ridge's face was there. The flicker in his eye, the way his fingers paused against his pen. Ridge made an effort to cover it up, but Eric, who was close to his son, was aware of the recollections. He doubled down, casually reminding Ridge of the time Brooke sacrificed her happiness to protect the family, how she had stood by Ridge through scandal, loss, and betrayal. Eric admitted over scotch that Taylor is a good woman, but Brooke is your soul. Ridge, conflicted as ever, insisted he was committed to Taylor, that she had given him peace. Brooke's chaos, he said, she always has been. But Eric knew Ridge loved that chaos. He thrived in it. Meanwhile, Taylor, blissfully unaware of the battle being waged behind her back, planned their future with optimism. She chose wedding invitations, discussed color palettes with Steffi, and dreamed about a life of serenity with the man she believed had finally chosen her. But Taylor, despite her training as a psychiatrist, missed the subtle cues: the way Ridge's mind wandered when Brooke's name came up, the moments of hesitation in his voice, and the walls going up when she asked about the wedding. Taylor believed she had won the war, that Brooke had finally stepped aside, but in reality, Brooke was simply biding her time. Then came the Naples trip. A Forrester Creations fashion event and charity gala rolled into one, set against the breathtaking cliffs and cobblestone streets of southern Italy. Taylor believed it would be the perfect romantic escape. But Eric had other plans. He subtly made it so that Brooke would be there, both officially to test the waters and to represent the Brooks bedroom line. He also extended an invitation to Nick Marone, who eagerly accepted, determined to sweep Brooke off her feet once and for all. But once Nick started laying it on thick, Ridge's jealousy erupted. He confronted Nick, accusing him of manipulation, of using Brooke to climb his way back into the Forrester orbit. Embarrassed by the situation, Brooke demanded to know why Ridge was concerned. "You've made your choice," she said coldly, "and I've made mine." But Ridge couldn't answer. Not honestly. That night, during a torrential rainstorm, Ridge got into a car to chase after Brooke after another heated argument, and lost control on a winding mountain road. The accident wasn't fatal, but it shook Ridge to his core. Taylor arrived at the hospital in a panic, but Ridge asked for Brooke. And that's when everything fell apart. Taylor watched, stunned and heartbroken, as Ridge reached for Brooke's hand and whispered that he couldn't lose her again. Not now. Not ever. It was the beginning of the end. Taylor made one last desperate move when he got to Los Angeles. She played the same card she'd used years before: broken heart syndrome. She checked herself into the hospital, claimed chest pain, and hoped the sight of her frail in a hospital bed would move Ridge back to her. But the spell didn't work this time. Ridge visited, sat by her side, but he wasn't present. He was focused on Brooke. He thanked Taylor for her love, for their children, and for being his friend, but he couldn't marry her. Not when his heart belonged elsewhere. Taylor tried to stay graceful, but behind her eyes was fury, betrayal, and heartbreak. She wasn't just losing a man, she was being humiliated. Again. Steffi Forrester, fierce and loyal to her mother, was livid. She blamed Brooke, called her a homewrecker, and begged her father to reconsider. But Ridge stood firm. He tried to deny it, tried to live the calm, steady life Taylor offered, but he couldn't lie anymore. Brooke was his beginning, middle, and end. Eric watched it all unfold, equal parts vindicated and sorrowful. He hadn't wanted to hurt Taylor, but he believed the pain would pass, and one day she'd understand. Brooke was hesitant at first because she wasn't sure if she wanted to get caught in the cycle once more. She questioned Ridge, tested him, made him work for her trust. Nick, sensing the shift, gave one last push, but Brooke gently told him goodbye. Her heart had never really left Ridge. And now, finally, maybe he had earned it back. Eric, satisfied that the course had been corrected, turned his attention to the future.